Barkbusters is a name synonymous with Australian motorcycling. For over 30 years, the products have been protecting riders' hands from clipping trees, crashing, and even weather protection. The company was established about 30 years ago, and they still produce the products in Australia, down just south of Sydney in Wollongong. We've come down to the factory to have a talk to the guys who manufacture this iconic Australian product. Over the years, Barkbusters have evolved. Now there's a wide range of Barkbuster product to suit many different types of motorcycle. Matthew, thanks for inviting us down to the Barkbusters factory. Now you purchased Barkbusters from Ted Goddard, who established it 30 years ago. What inspired you to become a manufacturer of Barkbusters in Australia?
Well, Nigel, back in the 80s I raced enduros for many years, and Ted sponsored me back then, and so I got to know the product really well. As time went on, Ted wanted to sell the business to retire, and I was the first person that he asked, because I'd had a bit of work with him developing one of the plastic guards that fitted one of his aluminium backbones. So, you know, we negotiated, I purchased the business, and I'm just amazed at where it's gone since then.
Barkbusters exported to other countries?
Yes, we do. It's a big part of our business, and probably about 60% of our product is exported now. It goes to about 30 countries around the world as the Barkbusters product, but we also private label for a couple of OEM customers in Europe, and they export that to all corners of the globe.
OEM is original equipment manufacturers, so that means there's people out there in other countries with Barkbusters on their machines and they don't even know it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Some of them probably may know, but probably a lot of them not. They don't know what a great product they got.
I see Barkbusters are now being offered for road bikes. Tell me, why would anyone want to put Barkbusters onto a road bike?
Yeah, well, that's what I thought when I got the first inquiry from a customer requesting Barkbusters for his road bike, and he said that his hands get cold while he's riding, and my first thought was, well, toughen up. But after a few more inquiries like that, I thought, okay, there's some potential here. So not being one to shy away from a challenge, I headed down the development path of handguards for road bikes.
The Barkbusters Storm is one of the results of that research and development, and designed to keep the rider's hands out of the weather. They mount very easily with a single mounting point at the end of the handlebar, and are very good at keeping your hands away from that weather.
We did find that some of the bikes with fairings became a bit challenging, some of the sports bikes. So that led us to develop another product, which is the BBZ, which is a fabric handguard. So it tends to flex around the controls, around the fairings and things like that, and not create too much of a problem.
So the BBZ is designed really just for warmth rather than any sort of crash protection or anything else. It's just designed to keep your hands warm.
Yeah, that's right. The BBZ's sole purpose was to keep the hands warm and dry in blizzard type conditions, and the only way we could do it to fit some of these sports bikes, which again I was quite surprised when guys with sports bike wanted it, but there's guys out there that ride all year round on things like that, so the Blizzard was designed to be flexible but still support itself and not flap in the breeze, and a simple thing to mount, and one bolt in the end of the handlebar and a strap in near the controls, and then you've got it fitted, and it's been extremely popular.
Well, having ridden a bike in snowing conditions when I was overseas one time, I wish I'd had a set of those on the bike then. The road bike market these days has got lots and lots of really beautiful motorcycles. So Barkbusters have produced carbon fibre Barkbusters, handguards to make your bike not only more comfortable but look great too. So Matthew, how did this come about that you're making carbon fibre handguards?
The carbon fibre was developed as a bit of a fun thing or a bling thing for those of us who have a love of carbon fibre. Initially it was designed for street bikes, but we've had a lot of guys with adventure bikes like to fit it up on those as well. It's made of real carbon fibre, handmade with a nice gloss finish, and looks great on most bikes.
We employ a robot in our manufacturing process, which works in conjunction with a couple of other machines to allow for a more consistent and speedy process of a bar development. This allows us to minimise the amount of man hours we use in the process, and leaves man hours free for other jobs, and allows us to keep more manufacturing in local here in Australia. There's no secret to the quality of the Barkbusters. What we do is we design shape and determine the thickness of the product we require, and then we source the materials locally with local manufacturers. No cheap alloys here. We also get local injection moulding for our plastics to a special mix that we designed ourselves. So we make sure that we produce products that we as riders would like to have, so to make sure that the customers get the highest quality possible.
So Matthew, you've got 3 different product ranges for the dirt bikes. Can you tell us a little bit about each one?
Yes, we have 3 different products for off-road bikes, the Ego, the VPS and the Jet. The Ego was the first product I designed after I took over the business from Ted, and it's a real compact design which is great for guys that like riding tight single-line trails, and it's been really popular and transformed the way the business operated. The VPS was then developed to accommodate guys with really long levers on bikes. Some of the trail bikes have that, so we had to accommodate that. And we added in some features like variable height wind deflector, a little skid plate you put on if you're going supermoto riding, and also you can include another part which is a little bracket to mount it as an open-ended MX guard. The Jet was designed as an economical alternative to some of the imported products on the market. With some clever design ideas and techniques, we were able to manufacture it at a much lower price and able to sell a good quality Australian product that competes quite well against imported products. Still Australian made, and that's what's important to us.
At the Barkbusters factory here, and a special guest has turned up, Peter Goddard. Not only did his dad start the company 30 odd years ago, Pete went on to go road racing, won the 1996 Australian Superbike Championship. Pete, you're still doing a few bits and pieces for Barkbusters. You've dropped in. Tell us what you've been up to lately.
Yeah, we've got a long history here. I mean, with Dad getting the product going eventually, and Matt's taking it to a new level, incredible level at the moment. So, I come down, I always say good day, but I've come here and helped out a few times, and you see where things can be improved, and we've talked with Matt many times about it. And last time I was here, early last year, I spent a couple of weeks here, and then we really found some bottlenecks and thought of some plans to make them better, and to automate some processes, especially the radius thing, and so that gave me a bit more of a opportunity to do some automation work, and I did that, and it's worked out quite well and very productive.
So where did you get the skills? You know, you're famous as a road racer to automate machining processes.
Yeah, I guess I've been, an engineer. My father's an engineer, so I was around motor mechanics all in my life, and engineering's something I love, and I'm a practical engineer, and so doing designs and making things work better is what you're all about. I mean, even with bikes, that's what it's all about. Getting the best of something, and sitting down there, doing bending bars or grinding bars or radiusing bars. It's all about lap times. Like Matt, we're all flat out doing stuff. So to get a better lap time, you got to make a better process.
Well, that's great. And what else have you been doing lately? Do you still get out on the motorbike?
Yeah, I do. Try to get out as much as I can, testing Barkbusters and trying the new products. But they're a great thing. Every time I ride, I think, how do people ride without these things out in the bush? My career was revolved around road racing, but now I do more off-road riding than anything. And out there in the bush, you can't beat having Barkbusters. I don't think you're nuts if you don't have them. But it's a great product, and. But I've also just taken over a new import business of offset electric bikes. So that's something that I'm doing, and getting kids on bikes is what all that's about, and trying to give them an opportunity like I had.
Fantastic. Thanks for your time.
No worries at all.